What's up guys, it's KamTendo, your source for most things Nintendo, if not any, and I want to talk to you guys about something that's been on my mind about Scarlet and Violet recently. Something that I really like and care about, and I figured that I would want to sit down and talk with you guys about it. That has been a growing issue with the past few games, not gameplay or stuff like that. What I'm talking about is the story's rivals. Now, I'm not going to sit here and make this entire video bashing about the rivals and, oh, no one would ever be as good as Blue, and this game fell flat, and Barry is the best, but like Wally sucks, but Wally and Barry are kind of the same in personality and none of that stuff. I just want to sit and talk with you guys about an issue I've seen with the rivals, especially in Sword and Shield, and how they can sort of fix that. In Sword and Shield, we were given technically five rivals, that being Hop, Bede, Marnie, and Clara and Avery if you got the DLC. Now, I want to go over and discuss the growing issue I've seen with the rivals, and we're going to start with Hop. Now, Hop is your next door neighbor, your childhood best friend, the brother of the champion of the region, and he didn't even really get that much room. They kind of shoved his entire story into the post game. Like, think about it. You start the game with him, he's super excited, he really isn't all that confident. Like, he knows a lot because his brother's the champion. He's excited to get endorsed. He wants to make a name for himself because he's living in the shadow of his brother, right? That's a great concept. We haven't had a concept like that up until that point. But then you exist and you kind of ruin his dreams for him, and he doesn't really get a development into the post game where he suddenly realizes that he wants to be a professor. That kind of comes out of nowhere, and then what makes it worse is that we don't really get to see that. I kind of thought it was a missed opportunity in the Crown Tundra where Sonya shows up and not Hop, and Hop could have been like, oh yeah, you know, I came here to explore the Crown Tundra for some research, but it's kind of Sonya's story because Sonya, despite Magnolia existing, she's the game's professor. Hop, as good of a rival as he is, and like as good as his character arc was, he just kind of fell off. Like, they didn't know what to do with him. And then we're gonna talk about Bede. Bede was something we wanted for a long time, a really rude rival. People say Gladion was mean, but he really wasn't rude. Gladion was more or less like edgy, and he loved the JoJo pose. That was pretty much it. I get that Gladion had an entire arc, but when it came to Bede, Bede was an orphan who was adopted by Chairman Rose. He was endorsed by Rose himself, and he was hoping that he would be the next champion after Leon. Then the entire thing happens with the monument that he destroys, and then he gets disowned, and that's where the story kind of picked up. You're like, holy crap, he just got disowned by his father in public. Not only was he disowned by his adoptive father, he was disqualified from the Pokemon League. Like, holy crap. He, like, his entire goal, his entire livelihood, the reason why he was even here and the thing that kept him going, he just lost all of that. And then you're just thinking to yourself, well, holy crap, that's, as sad as that is, that's really great storytelling. He just got disowned by the worst villain in the series, but that's a story for another topic. He just got disowned, like, holy crap. And then he gets taken in by the fairy type gym leader Opal. He becomes the next gym leader, and you fight him at the league. That's it. That's pretty much it. You see him in a post game. He's the new gym leader. He still hates you, but he acknowledges that you're strong. His story is pretty much over. Okay, that wasn't really the best way to handle a character like that. He was rude to you. He was more rude to Hop than you. He was like, oh yeah, how can you be the brother of a champion when you suck? Like, he was really rude to Hop, especially that one scene in the wild area where they fought and Hop lost and B just kind of completely trashed him. Like, holy crap. But he was a good rival for what he was, and then they kind of they cut him, like, his story came and went. Like, everything after the fairy type gym leader just escalated like super fast. Like, they needed to get him out of the story because they needed to move on to the next rival. And then enters Marnie. Now, Marnie is, out of the three of these rivals, Marnie is arguably probably one of the worst rivals we have had in a long time, and here's why. You meet her, the evil team stalks her, they aren't even, like, it's one of those things where, okay, the evil team this time around are a bunch of fans, rabbit fans that are obsessed with her because they want her to become the next champion, so they want to, like, sabotage any other contestant progressing through the gym challenge. Okay, that's cool, but it was honestly super annoying. Marnie herself had zero personality. There was that one scene that everybody loves where she makes herself smile and Morpeko's cheering for her. Then, like, throughout the rest of the game, you only see her like twice or three times. You see her once in her initial introduction, you see her another time, and then you meet her at the league where she helps you get into Rose Tower, which again, that entire scenario felt so forced. like extremely forced, like storytelling at its worst at that point, because nothing made sense. But Marnie literally came and went, and then when you beat her, she didn't even care. Her entire thing was that I want to make a name for myself, just like Hop did. I don't want to be a gym leader like my brother wants me to. I want to be a champion. Then you beat her and she's like, oh well, darn, well, dang it, okay, you can have it. And then you can tell they didn't even care, because her remix theme is not even a remix. Like, only the beginning portion is remix. When you fight Hop, Hop's entire theme changed. When you fight Bede, that's another thing. They didn't even change Bede's theme, despite him fighting you in the quote-unquote like finals. With it was basically the Elite Four in a sense. I get that he was no longer part of the Gym Challenge. That was kind of a reason why, but that doesn't excuse that. You fight Marnie. She sends out. She has a G-Max Grimmsnarl. That's awesome. Grimmsnarl is a really cool mon. But then you fight her and she's just like, oh, okay, well, good luck. And then she's like, in a post game, she's like, well, I took over the gym anyway. I mean, can't be the champion. I'll just fall back on this. She really didn't care. She had no personality. When you meet her, she doesn't, like, she could not care less. And then she's like, let me try to smile for you. And then there's that whole part where she helps you get into Rose Tower and she's like, let me come with you. And Hop's like, no, Pierce, I think it was either Hop or Pierce. They're like, no, stay here. And I was like, why can't she come with us? She hasn't done anything else the entire story. She hasn't, like, the game wouldn't even let her be a good character. She just had to be sidelined, except for that one point in the game. They would not allow her to do anything else. So again, out of the three of those, Hop was probably the best, Bede was second, Marnie was the last. Like, a lot of people hate the Gen 7 rivals. Compared to Marnie, the Gen 7 rivals, Gladion and Hop, they are amazing. I love Hop. Not Hop, How. I love How compared to Marnie. 100%. How's a great rival. He has a great story. The freaking X and Y crew, they did absolutely nothing, but they had a personality unlike Marnie. That's the sad thing. I don't know who wrote the Gen 8 story, but I don't want to be a bad person, but they need to be fired. They need to go. So now we're going to move on to the DLC rivals. Arguably, the best rivals in the entire game, and if not, probably the series. I'm not going to say the series, even though I just said it, but you get the point. You go to the Crown Tundra, right? Enters Clara or Avery. They hate you. You show up. At first, they're super cocky. They're like, oh, this is the new guy for the Isle of Armor training regimen thing. Let me just beat him and show him his place. You beat them. You completely destroyed them. And then they're like, oh, well, crap. You know what? This isn't the right place. You actually took the wrong train. You need to leave. You need to go back. You're not fit. I was going easy on you. You suck. You're not fit to be here. So then Honey, best girl Honey, shows up and she's like, oh, is that the new guy? No, let him in. And then they hate you. They sabotage you. The entire trial thing to get a cup food. They even go as far as to sabotage the field when you fight them in their final fight. And of course, Mustard catches on to this. They get punished, but they realize that, yeah, you know, even when I gave myself a handicap, you still beat me. You're a great person and you're a great trainer. I can't beat you, and I kind of feel like trash for sabotaging you. I just wanted to be a gym leader. I wanted to make my way out there in the world, just like the other three rivals, except they somehow made their entire arc perfect within like 30 minutes of a DLC versus like, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours of a full game, because Pokemon games are really short. But they wrapped up like an entire character arc in 30 minutes versus an entire main game where all the rivals fell off for the most part. Then another thing is that they win. They get what they want in the post game. Clara and Avery at the Galarian Star Tournament, when you meet them, they're like, yo, we just got to prove to be gym leaders, even though we're minor league, but we still did our dream. And even though we kind of fell off at the start, I have to thank you, because if it weren't for you, I wouldn't be here. Like, I sabotaged you. I treated you like crap when you came to the Isle of Armor, but now that I see the error of my ways and I see that, you know, things are working out for me and they're working out for you too, I'm happy you're the champion, and I'm happy that I get to be a gym leader, hopefully when the next league starts up. So yeah, they wrapped up their entire arc, and of course, being a poison and psychic type gym leader respectively, they're already kind of cool types and they're cool characters. And I don't think up to that point, besides Marnie and Bede, we didn't really have a type specialist like rival, especially throughout the main story or the DLC story. So past generation, the rivals, besides the DLC rivals, the rivals kind of fell flat. And I don't know if it's the overabundance, because I don't know if you guys have realized this, but every time we get a game where there's a bunch of rivals, like more than 3, they always somehow mess it up. Even back in X and Y, your friends in quotations, the only person that cared was Serena, or Callum if you chose Serena. They were the only people that took it seriously. Shauna just wanted to have fun. Tierno was too like scared to fight. No, Tierno, no, he wanted to dance. Yeah, Tierno was the one that liked to dance. Tierno only cared about dancing. Trevor was more research focused than battle focused, and even when he did battle you, he would always be like, why did I even fight you? I suck. So again, you're like, every time they make a game with like more than 3 rivals, the only time they did it right was Black and White. I know some people don't want to consider N a rival, but he's basically a rival. Sharon and Bianca, their stories got wrapped up really nicely, and then you get to see that payoff in Black and White too, and was probably the most ambitious rival and the best rival that the series has had thus far, and even beyond that, because the Gen 6 rivals fell flat. The Gen 7 rivals, they were good, but they weren't there. The Gen 8 rivals, other than the DLCs, they fell completely flat. You know, we're reaching up to Gen 9, and like, we need to see a change. So here's what I think they can do to change that. I wouldn't mind if we go back to a 1 or 2 rival formula. And judging based off of the gameplay or a screenshot I think I saw, we were battling, I don't know if that was us and the camera angles being moved around, but we were battling a trainer with a Hisui and Zoroark. Again, that could have just been a camera angle. So going based off of that and just my personal headcanon alone, I think that we are fighting probably the opposite gender. So I don't know, we might go back to the opposite gender being our rival, and then we might get an additional rival. If they can't do a story with more than 3 rivals correctly, it's going to be just like the walking Pokemon thing. If they can't do it right, they don't do it at all, in my personal opinion. I want them to have a rival, make them, they don't have to, that's the thing, they don't have to be a jerk, they don't have to be rude. I don't know why people are all like suddenly masochists and they need a rival to tell them they suck and to step on them and stuff. They don't need to be a mean rival, but at the very least, give them a good story, and also learn to pace the game correctly. Sword and Shield had all the time in the world to make their rivals good, but they just chose not to. Like, I don't see how. Like, the main villain came out of nowhere at the very end. The entire evil team sucked. Macrocosmos, the real evil team, didn't even do anything besides the whole tower thing and the whole chase, the useless chasing. Like, Sword and Shield had all the time in the world. Nobody was making that game be bad other than Game Freak themselves. Like, the main story had all the time to be good, but they just chose not to. In this game, it's going to be an open world game. I don't know how they're going to make our rivals show up and fight us if we can do the gems out of order, which we don't know if we can, but it seems like that's the case. And then also, we're at school, right? We're presumably we're going to be at school. Our rival can be probably a classmate, our childhood friend again, the opposite gender, or the bully. Now, again, this is just my headcanon because judging by our outfits, we seem to be school students. So I was thinking maybe the rival is probably our bully, right? We both have to take on a gym challenge together. They hate us. We constantly beat them. And over the course of the game, they learn that, yo, kind of like Silver, yo, I suck. I can't beat this person. I'm a jerk to them. I hate them, but I don't understand why I suck. And I don't understand why we're both in the same class. We're both on this thing together, like not really together, but we're both doing this side by side. But no matter what I do, I can't beat them. I don't get why. What is wrong with me? And then throughout the course of the game, they learn to realize that, holy crap, I see why. And then another route they can go with is that we have a overconfident classmate who's just like, I know everything, right? I know everything. I know type advantages, I know strategies, I know all this stuff, but I can't win. I can't beat this the player character. I can't win. Maybe I need to try a different approach. Maybe I need to just enjoy battling instead of overthinking and overcomplicating things, right? They can go a lot of different, if this is a school route, they can go a lot of different things. They could do both. Can't have more than one rival, right? They can have both. They can do both. They can go a whole different route. We can just have a casual classmate who's like, yo, let's go on a journey together. Like, they can do a lot of things, and if they can do this right, this could be one of the best rivals we've had since like Black and White. Not Black and White 2. Hue kind of fell flat, but that's really all I wanted to talk about with you guys. I really like stories in Pokemon. That's why I kind of dislike Sword and Shield so much, because I don't know how you can make a story that bad and that ends up being one of the best selling games. I don't get it. But that's all I want to talk about with you guys. I really wanted to talk about rivals and stuff like that. Maybe next video, if you guys want, I can make one about the evil teams and how they can make that good. Gym leaders, how they can make them good again, because Sword and Shield gym leaders were really cool, but not they sucked too. They didn't really do much. So again, if you guys want, I can make more videos about that. And thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I will see you guys when I see you. All right, bye.